Welcome to another Alpha Audio video, 2 in a row, and that's quite special. You can see it in our history that we don't make that much review videos. We mostly write it and live stream, but we have some very nice gear in our listening room, and the previous video was about the wonderful Bladelius Ask integrated amplifier, a brand we didn't know, and this time another brand we didn't really know is Aretai, if we pronounce it correctly. We first encountered the brand on the Dutch audio event in Veldhoven. It's a big hi-fi show, and they had a nice room with some nice gear, and we thought the sound was pretty impressive, but you can't really judge a brand on a hi-fi show, as you probably know. The fact that we didn't know Aretai isn't very strange because it was founded in 2018. It's a brand from Latvia, and it was founded by Yannis and Edgars, and I don't know if I pronounced those names correctly, so if I don't, I'm very, very sorry. But Yannis visited a lot of hi-fi shows, and he thought, yeah, sounds all nice, but I want to have my own brand and my own sound, and he founded Aretai. And the brand name Aretai is actually from the Greek word aretai, and it means excellence. Pretty cool. And the logo, which isn't very prominent on the device itself, it could be a crown, it could be a volume control, but you can see and tell that there's a lot of effort gone into the design of the speaker. It all looks very, very cleanly finished, and this nice waveguide, it's not a horn, this nice waveguide is also finished. Yeah, well, it's finished sublimely, and I have to admit, for a brand this young, it looks incredible. You can choose different finishes, by the way, but I really like the black and white. You can also use wood, or choose wood, sorry, or veneer, or anything you want, but it will cost you extra. About the price, 10 grand a pair. No, they're not cheap. I was quite surprised as well, because they're not big, they're not impressive in terms of all bling on the loudspeaker, and still 10 grand. But if you can hear this, it's very, very solidly built, and you can hear that as well. Let me first get you through some specifications before I go into the sound, because the sound is really, really special. It's a 2.5 way system. On the back there's another 6-inch woofer. On the front there's also a 6-inch woofer. It's a closed system, and it will go from around 32 Hz to 30 kHz. Now, 32 Hz may sound really, really impressive because our TADs also make 30 Hz. It's not the same. It's a closed small speaker, and yes, it has 2 woofers, but still it doesn't have the punch or the weight in the bass that a floor standing speaker can produce. But the bass is very tight, and it still goes pretty impressively deep, if we're honest. I mean, in our large listening room, we managed to get some serious bass out of this compact speaker. It's a 4 ohm nominal impedance, and they say it's easy to drive and that you could even use a valve amp for this loudspeaker. Now, I don't know, I haven't measured it yet. If the impedance is flat enough and friendly enough, sure, you can use a valve amp, but with 87 dBs of efficiency, it won't go very loud, probably. Then about the sound. When we sat down and played some music, and we played all sorts of genres, I mean, from A Perfect Circle to Tool to Hanya Rani and to Goa Trance and other house music as well, we were sitting down and thinking, wow, this really plays everything. It doesn't really care about the music you play, and it shouldn't. I mean, it's a loudspeaker, it should just reproduce your music, shouldn't it? But it does it in a very effortlessly way. It doesn't really care about the dynamics. It can play beautiful microdynamics, but also beautiful macro dynamics as well. And it keeps the grip very impressively for a speaker this size. Does it go really, really deep? No, but really deep enough. And if you want more bass, there's a bigger floor standing model for you as well. But it made us think, what other loudspeakers are there out there that can do it like this Aretai? It's really hard to think about another one. I mean, it made us think about studio monitors in the first sense, and we could think about ATC or Genelec or Focal studio monitors, or maybe Quested or PMC, of course, or there are a lot of studio brands out there, but it's not exactly the same. I mean, I own ATC active loudspeakers at home, and yeah, they have some resemblances, but they're also very different. This is maybe more airy in the upper range, and especially the stereo image is different from my ATCs. This plays more forward, probably because of the waveguide. So there is not a really immensely 3D feel in depth, but it does create a bubble, so it does play 3D like. And if you like a bubble that's more forward than backwards, this is definitely your loudspeaker. But it's not as brutally honest as, for example, a Neumann. But it will let you hear everything. So it's kind of a studio monitor in a relaxing way, but it will give you the same insight as most studio monitors do. So I believe you can really mix and master on this loudspeaker, and that's impressive for a hi-fi loudspeaker. So yeah, it's a very special sound they created, and I love it because it's different from other brands. I mean, most brands go the commercial way, and they lift the treble a little bit, and they make the bass a little bit boomy and impressive, in sense of warmth, but they're all going towards the V-shaped smiley face EQ, and they definitely didn't, and I respect that a lot. So, very special loudspeaker, and I really wanted to make you, I really wanted to present this loudspeaker to you because it's really special. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.